God says, before you even finish reading this message, something will start shifting around you. The spiritual realm has been echoing with your name. Your soul has been crying out for truth, and heaven has heard the cry in silence. Archangel Michael has stepped forward not in peace today, but in urgency. The truth must be revealed now because you are standing at the edge of a divine crossroad and the time is no longer waiting. Someone has already spoken your name in secret. Someone who is pretending to smile while building a wall behind you. Someone whose name begins with the letter M. They have been seen by heaven. Their actions are recorded. Their movements are not hidden. The same person you once trusted, spoke to, maybe even loved or respected, has done something that now requires your divine attention, before they cause irreversible damage. God says, this is not to scare you, but to awaken your spirit. Heaven doesn't send warnings unless it's urgent. This is that moment. Someone came in your dream recently. Someone tried to tell you something, but you woke up confused. That was not a random dream. That was the angel assigned to your path trying to speak to you. The voice you ignored in your sleep was an emergency whisper. It was Michael. He came into your sleep holding a scroll, but your fear made you forget. You dismissed it. But you must not dismiss this message now. Archangel Michael says that person with the name starting with M is involved in a deception that directly affects your future. You have not yet seen the full face of this betrayal, but God is about to reveal it, layer by layer, dream by dream, sign by sign, until you can no longer deny it. You have been delayed long enough. They said words about you when you weren't listening. They agreed to something that went against your spirit. Michael says, their soul is now covered in shadows because of the choices they made against you. They were shown a path to apologize, to confess, to heal, but they refused. Instead, they plotted quietly. Archangel Michael says your name was written down by them, not in blessing but in a whisper of sabotage. God saw it. The angels wept. And you felt the ache in your chest without knowing why. You've wondered why your energy has been unstable. Why some days feel heavy even when everything seems fine. Why your sleep has been broken. Why your mind has been circling the same thoughts. This is why. The person whose name begins with M has opened a door that was not meant to be opened. They said something about you to someone who should have never known. They passed along a message they were never asked to deliver. Michael says it's time to stop being silent. It's time to listen to the divine voice within you screaming for justice. God is not angry at you for not seeing it earlier. This is not your fault. The spirit of manipulation was around them long before you met. But now, you must choose to look again. You must see what you didn't want to believe. That person you kept defending to others, the one you gave so many chances, has become spiritually dangerous. The angels are warning you now because if you stay connected too closely, their fate will begin to intertwine with yours. And God doesn't want their consequences to fall on you. Someone has already tried to warn you, maybe even more than once. But their voice was small, or the signs were subtle. Maybe it was a sudden delay, a message that never arrived, a conversation you weren't meant to overhear but did. Maybe it was that moment you saw their eyes shift when you spoke your dreams out loud. Maybe you noticed how they suddenly changed after hearing about your success. That was not coincidence. That was exposure. You brushed it off, but heaven didn't. The spiritual realm has been watching. You must understand that Michael is not just a messenger. He is the chief protector of those who walk in divine purpose. And when Michael steps forward to give you a personal warning, it means time is up for the deception. Michael says this person whose name starts with M is part of the reason your breakthroughs have been delayed. Their doubt has cast spiritual shadows over your blessings. Their jealousy has soaked into the atmosphere around your name. You started to question your path. You started to question your own worth. That confusion wasn't you. It was spiritual warfare disguised as self-doubt. But God says enough. Heaven says now. Michael says, no more silence. No more delay. The person you trusted is hiding something, documents, messages, feelings, that would break your heart if you saw it all at once. That's why God will show you piece by piece, dream by dream, moment by moment. This is your time to listen. Michael saw something you didn't. He stood in the room while that person was talking about you. He saw them smiling on the outside and secretly plotting on the inside. He saw them open a message that had your name in it and share it with someone they shouldn't have. He saw them trying to cover up their true feelings with flattery. And now Michael stands here, sword drawn, warning given. Someone has been sent into your life now to give you the missing puzzle piece. You'll recognize them because they will say something about M without even knowing why. That will be your confirmation. They may say a phrase that feels oddly familiar. Or they may give you a warning that sounds just like this message. When that happens, you'll know, this is real. Heaven is orchestrating this moment so you don't fall into the trap again. God says, they tried to confuse you. They tried to make you feel guilty for having boundaries. But heaven is saying this loud and clear, protect your spirit. The person with the name starting with M may come with apologies, may come with flattery, may come pretending to love or support you, but underneath, their intentions have already been recorded by God. You are not alone. God has seen everything. The betrayal, the manipulation, the silence, the deception. God knows how deeply you feel, how loyal you've been. But now God needs you to be loyal to your own divine purpose. You cannot carry both the blessings of heaven and the burden of someone's deception. Archangel Michael has given you this final warning, not to punish you, but to prepare you. There is a divine shift coming in your life. A turning point. Something is about to break open, and when it does, the person whose name starts with M will try to insert themselves into the story. But you will remember this moment. You will remember this message. And you will not forget what heaven told you. Your dreams will begin to change now. You will start to see symbols, numbers, even hear names. Don't ignore them. The spiritual world is aligning for your clarity. Even now, something inside you knows this is true. Your soul is reacting. Your body is responding. That's not fear. That's truth. That's divine confirmation shaking your spirit into wakefulness. Michael says, if you ignore this message again, the silence will return. You will miss the final sign. Do not delay. The warning was whispered before. This time it has thundered. God is giving you clarity before calamity. Insight before regret. Peace before pain. That person with the name starting with M, they are either about to tell you a lie, or they already have. But this time, you will see through it. You will know what to say. You will walk away in power. And when you do, the angels will surround you and rejoice, because you finally heard heaven clearly. God is shifting things for you right now. After reading this message, you will notice strange things happen. People will call you with unusual timing. You may hear their name again on a phone, in a dream, on a screen. This is not random. This is spiritual alignment. God is exposing what was hidden so that you can finally walk into your freedom. Michael is now placing a spiritual seal around you. You are covered. You are protected. But you must obey the prompting of the Spirit. Stay alert. Stay quiet. Let God show you what He needs to show you. Don't run to confront, don't rush to speak. Wait. Observe. Receive. The truth is about to land in your hands. And once it does, nothing will ever be the same again. The storm is not against you, it's clearing the path. The warning was not a punishment, it's your rescue. And the truth you're about to uncover will give you the wings to rise, free from deception, standing in divine power. Someone is still watching you. Someone who knows what they did. But they don't know what you know now. And God says, that is your advantage. You have heaven on your side. You have angels walking beside you. You have the sword of Michael guarding your destiny. Stay awake. Be still. Listen. Because now, it begins. God says, the silence around you is not empty. The silence has been sacred. It has been a pause created by heaven so that the noise of deception could be separated from the voice of truth. Archangel Michael is still near you, standing firmly with his sword of fire drawn, commanding your spirit to listen closely. The warning is not over. The exposure is still unfolding. The one with the name that begins with M is moving faster now, because in the spirit realm they can sense that you're waking up. They can feel that you're starting to see through them. They're nervous. They're trying to control the narrative before it crashes down. They are making phone calls, deleting evidence, shifting blame, rewriting history. They are afraid of what you might learn next. Michael says this person almost succeeded. There was a moment, not long ago, when you were one decision away from trusting them again. You almost believed the lie they were preparing. You almost stepped right back into the web. But heaven stopped you. God whispered to your spirit and made you uncomfortable enough to pause. You didn't know why, but now you do. It wasn't intuition. It was an angelic interception. Your spirit is more protected than you realize. And what they meant to use against you, God is now using to elevate you. Michael weeps when you ignore these divine nudges. Not because he is weak, but because his heart is fiercely loyal to your purpose. He has seen the wars you fought just to survive. He saw you on nights you couldn't speak your pain out loud. He watched when the person with the name M laughed with others while you cried alone. That memory is not forgotten in heaven. Every tear you shed because of betrayal is recorded. Every moment you doubted yourself because of what they made you feel, heaven remembers. But now the scroll has been unsealed. The page has turned. Your soul is entering the season of unveiling. What was spoken in secret is about to come into the light. They whispered about you in corners. They told half-truths to protect their image. They twisted your name to seem innocent. But truth is not afraid of exposure. Only lies fear the light. Michael says the time has come where truth walks in, whether they like it or not. Do you remember that strange message you received recently? Maybe it was an accidental call. A sudden name pop-up. Someone tagging you online unexpectedly. Maybe a child spoke something random. Or someone you haven't heard from in a long time reached out with something that didn't quite make sense. That was a divine breadcrumb. A sign left by the angels. The message has already started. You may start noticing your dreams changing again. Waking up at the same hour every night. Feeling sudden chills. Hearing your name being spoken aloud when no one is there. These are signs of divine contact. Heaven is not done speaking. Michael is walking through your dreams, clearing out the residue of spiritual warfare. And in that space, new truth will arrive. Don't fear what's being revealed. You are ready. You are stronger now. The person whose name starts with M may try to convince others you're the one who changed. They may play the victim. They may pretend they meant no harm. But don't let their tears drown your discernment. God says, stop rescuing people from consequences they chose. Stop defending people who were never defending you. It is not your job to clean the stains of their deception. Let the truth do its work. Michael says there is a folder, a photo, a file, a document, a memory, something that holds the proof you've been needing. It will surface soon. It will not be brought by you. It will be handed to you. And when it is, you must not hesitate to believe it. You have asked for signs. This is it. You will know it when it arrives. And the moment you hold it, the whole story will finally make sense. Every unanswered question, every strange feeling, every sudden shift in their behavior, it will all align like a divine puzzle coming together before your eyes. They will try to say it was a mistake. They will try to explain it away. But your soul will feel the vibration of truth, and you will no longer need their explanation. Michael says the time for doubt is over. The time for clarity has come. You are being set apart. There's a reason you've been feeling disconnected from old friends, old habits, old circles. Heaven is cleansing your atmosphere. That's why some people have gone silent. That's why some conversations don't feel right anymore. It's not that something is wrong with you. It's that something is right in your spirit, and wrong in theirs. The separation is protection. Don't fight it. Don't chase what God is removing. Let it go. The person with the name starting with M has made spiritual agreements that go against your calling. And every time you stay attached to them, the residue of their spiritual choices spills over into your space. That's why you've been feeling heavy. That's why your mind has felt cloudy. That's why every time you're about to take a leap of faith, something pulls you back. It's not you. It's the invisible threads connecting you to their chaos. But now, those threads are being cut. The angels are severing what should have never been bound. You will feel it. A weight will lift. A fog will clear. You will suddenly feel the strength to say no without guilt. You will begin to see with sharper clarity. People who used to confuse you will no longer sway your heart. What once trapped you emotionally will lose its grip. That is the power of divine exposure. God says, the reason this message came to you now is because you're about to walk into a divine opportunity. A door is about to open. Something you prayed for is finally arriving. But if this person remains attached to your journey, they will try to sabotage what God is giving you. That is why Michael came in urgency. Not just to warn you, but to protect what's about to be delivered to you. You will soon hear news. Someone will say something that confirms everything you've read. It may be a relative, a stranger, a coworker, an old friend. But when it happens, pause. Listen closely. That moment will be your spiritual activation. It will be the final unlocking. And after that, your spirit will begin to accelerate. New doors, new friendships, new ideas, new visions. You'll feel more creative again, more focused, more alive. This is what the enemy tried to prevent. This is what the person with the name M feared. Your spiritual awakening, your freedom, your voice. Michael says you were never meant to stay small. You were never meant to stay stuck. And anyone who tried to keep you in that space was never aligned with your divine purpose. Now that the veil has been lifted, don't go back. Don't settle for half-truths. Don't accept apologies without repentance. You are not being dramatic. You are being discerning. Michael has been assigned to you for this season. You will feel his presence. You may feel the pressure in your chest when he enters. You may feel the sudden urge to pray without knowing why. That's him. Don't ignore it. He's guiding you into a safer, freer, more powerful space. You are not alone. You will soon find that everything that didn't make sense will start to come into alignment. The confusion will fade. The ache will lift. And you will breathe easier. This is your confirmation. This is your warning. This is your protection. The person whose name begins with M, they still think you're in the dark. They still believe they're winning. But what they don't know is that heaven just handed you the light. And now, your next move will be made with eyes wide open and angels by your side. Walk forward. Because what's coming next is the life you were always meant to live. God says, this moment is sacred. It is not a coincidence that your heart was pulled here. It was divinely designed, ordered, measured, and timed for your eyes only. For even now, the heavens have been stirred by your cries, and the Lord has whispered your name into the ear of Archangel Michael, who stands before you in burning light, sword drawn, voice trembling with urgency, saying, "There is someone close. Someone whose name begins with the letter M. You must not skip this. If you delay, you may lose the only warning God has chosen to send in this exact hour." Archangel Michael has never spoken lightly. And when he does, it's not for drama, it is life or death. That name, that one letter, M, it keeps appearing. God says you've felt it. You've sensed it. That unease when they speak. That tug in your chest when you see their name. But you brushed it off. You convinced yourself it was doubt, fear, or imagination. But it was none of those. It was God. Trying to reach you. Trying to wake you. And now, He says, I will not be silent anymore. This person, whose name begins with M, carries something in their heart they haven't shown you. They smile, but their eyes hide jealousy. They talk of love, but somewhere in the quiet, they whisper things you'd never expect. And while you've trusted them, defended them, even sacrificed parts of yourself for them, God says they have done something you cannot imagine, something that has been covered up until now. But God will not allow deception to rule over you anymore. God says they've been warned. In dreams, in signs, through others who spoke truth. But they hardened their heart and continued the manipulation. You've wondered why certain blessings have been delayed. Why some moments in your life feel blocked. Why strange confusion clouds your mind at times, or unexpected misfortunes unfold the moment you speak of your joy. It is not random. It is spiritual. And Archangel Michael says this interference was permitted for a season, only to awaken you to the spiritual warfare occurring behind the scenes. Michael cries out now, do not ignore this again. Because the next decision you make involving this person can change your destiny. God has sent multiple angels to stand guard around you, especially at night, because of what this person carries in their spirit. Not all battles are physical. Some are silent, carried through emotions, thoughts, and intentions. And God sees their intentions. Even when they say the right words, God hears what they mutter in their heart. There is an envy they have never confessed. A deep wound in them that makes them view your success as a threat. And instead of healing it, they have chosen to compete with you silently. The Lord says this is someone you once told secrets to. Someone you invited into sacred places of your heart. It may be a friend, a family member, or even someone you've shared romantic feelings with. But make no mistake, God says this person has crossed a spiritual line. And now heaven is revealing it not to shame them, but to protect you. Because you are stepping into something greater. A breakthrough. A divine reversal. And the enemy is desperate to block it through familiar faces. You may remember moments when things went wrong right after talking to them. Or how your joy dimmed when they entered a room. That wasn't coincidence. That was a shift in spiritual atmosphere. God is revealing this now because the time has come for separation. Not in hatred. Not in bitterness. But in wisdom. Archangel Michael pleads with you now, cleanse your environment. Pay attention to the spirit behind every word spoken to you. Guard your dreams. Guard your vision. Because someone with the name that begins with M is walking in duality. They show one face, but in secret, they align with a different spirit. A spirit that does not celebrate you. A spirit that fears your rise. A spirit that would rather see you held down so they can feel higher. God says, you have been too kind, too trusting, too soft-spoken with your boundaries. But now, I command you to rise in discernment. This is the hour when masks are falling. This is the moment when hidden motives are being dragged into the light. And though it may hurt to see the truth, it is a holy pain. One that delivers. One that sets free. One that God uses to sharpen you, cleanse your space, and prepare you for the elevation He's bringing. There are blessings with your name on them. Miracles are circling your household. Divine connections are searching for you. But they cannot land in an atmosphere polluted with the spirit of manipulation, gossip, envy, or hidden offense. This is why God is moving urgently now. To protect the promise. To preserve the blessing. To purify your path. God says, there is someone watching you very closely right now, and it is not just this person with the letter M. There are others observing how you respond to this truth. Do not be afraid. I am with you. I will give you the strength to detach, the peace to endure, and the wisdom to move forward without regret. You have given too much of yourself to people who do not celebrate your calling. You've dimmed your light so others could feel more comfortable. You've carried burdens God never asked you to carry. And now, He says, lay them down. Let go. Walk away. I have seen the quiet tears, the inner confusion, the whispered prayers at midnight. I have counted every one. And I will restore what you lost, double. But only after you obey my voice and take distance from this individual. There is a phone call or message coming soon from someone connected to this person. Do not ignore the signs. What they reveal will confirm everything. And it may shock you. But do not react in anger. Do not seek revenge. Simply listen, observe, and follow God's instructions. He is moving people into and out of your life in this season for a reason. He is realigning your circle for what's ahead. Michael says this is not just about protection. It is preparation. Because something is about to be offered to you, an opportunity, a promotion, a shift in location or purpose. And if the wrong person remains too close, they will sabotage it, even if unintentionally. That is why this message comes with urgency. That is why your spirit felt a strange pull before you read this. You are not crazy. You are not imagining things. The Holy Spirit has been speaking. And now He confirms it plainly. You were not supposed to hear this from another person. God wanted you to hear it directly from heaven, so that when things unfold, you will know without a doubt, this message was for you. This is not something to send to others. This is not something to debate or delay. It is a command wrapped in mercy. A holy warning delivered with love. You are chosen. You are protected. You are appointed. And when God appoints, He also exposes. Do not be surprised if this person begins acting strangely soon. They may withdraw. They may suddenly attack you with words, or even pretend to love you more than ever. All of it is spiritual warfare. But you have the upper hand, because you now know. And with knowledge comes power. With wisdom comes peace. And with God's direction comes deliverance. Do not let guilt hold you in poisonous places. Do not confuse loyalty with spiritual sabotage. It is possible to forgive someone while walking away. It is possible to love them without letting them stay. And sometimes, the most spiritual thing you can do, is distance yourself. God says this message will begin unlocking things in your life within 3 days. A veil will lift. A truth will rise. And a burden will break. But only if you listen. Only if you obey. Only if you let go of what God is exposing today. You are not alone. Even now, as you read this, angels have been dispatched to war on your behalf. Archangel Michael is already standing between you and every demonic plan. Your name is being spoken in rooms of light. Your voice is being heard in heaven. And the Lord Himself is going ahead of you, making crooked places straight. Do not panic. Do not fear. Simply trust. Everything hidden is coming to the surface. Everything delayed is being released. And everything stolen is about to return, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. The person with the name beginning with M, God says, they had a chance to come clean. They did not. So now, I am showing you, because I love you. You are safe. You are covered. You are protected. But you must listen now. This is your moment. Obey swiftly. Walk wisely. And pray deeply. Because the next chapter of your life begins after this decision. And it will be beautiful. God has said it. And so it will be. God says, this is not an ordinary day, and this is not an ordinary message. This is your moment to pause everything else, to focus completely, and to understand the gravity of what is being revealed to you now. God says, the skies have moved, the angels have descended, and Archangel Michael has come forward with trembling wings and fire in his voice, not to frighten you, but to protect you. Something is unfolding. And someone, whose name begins with the letter M, has stepped into the light of divine concern. Archangel Michael says, "This is the moment you must not ignore." Heaven has seen a danger circling you like a shadow. Someone has whispered your name in rooms that were not meant to know you. Someone has mentioned your soul in conversations that were meant to keep you bound. And the name that keeps echoing in the angelic court is a name beginning with M. This is not coincidence. This is not paranoia. This is divine alert. Michael stood by your window last night. You didn't see him, but you may have felt a presence, a slight disturbance in the air. Or maybe you felt like someone was watching you, not to hurt, but to guard. Michael says that someone tried to invade your peace. And the person with the name beginning in M holds a piece of truth you were never meant to see. But God says today is the day. The veil is lifting. What was hidden is coming to the surface. There is someone, a person you may know or might only faintly recall, someone who carries that name, or has that initial, or is deeply connected to it. This person has either spoken against you, acted behind your back, or has chosen to wear a mask in your presence. They may smile. They may speak kind words. But behind the veil, behind the forced kindness, there is a motive that does not align with God's will for your life. Michael says this isn't meant to cause you fear, but to spark divine discernment. God has been watching, waiting for the right time to intervene. And that time is now. Because your destiny is too important, your future too bright, your purpose too precious to be entangled by the secret plans of those who are not aligned with your calling. God says, every weapon formed against you is being disarmed right now, but He needs you to be aware. Don't walk blind. Don't dismiss your instincts. If you felt uneasy around someone whose name begins with M, trust that feeling. It is not confusion, it is protection. Archangel Michael says this person was not always like this. They were once innocent, maybe even guided by light. But something shifted. A bitterness. A jealousy. A confusion that turned into resentment. Maybe they watched you rise. Maybe they watched you receive favor that they thought should have been theirs. And instead of celebrating your light, they chose to speak darkness over your name. They may have even involved others, creating a circle of confusion around your identity. But God says no more. There are spiritual records. Heaven keeps them. Every tear you've cried, every moment you were betrayed, every lie spoken in secret, every attempt to delay your destiny, it's all recorded. And today, those records are being reviewed. And as they are, God is ordering angels to act. Archangel Michael is already ahead of this. He has seen the intentions of the one named M. He has traced their footsteps, listened to the conversations, witnessed their dreams, and he says you must know, now, before it escalates. You are being protected. Even now, as you read this, something is being dismantled in the spirit. A plot. A plan. A manipulation. Something designed to make you feel crazy, insecure, unstable, something that this person had begun to stir in silence. They didn't expect you to know. They didn't expect heaven to intervene. But heaven always knows. And heaven is never late. God says you are not alone. He says He has assigned a spiritual watchtower over your name. Your home, your mind, your spirit, your path, completely covered. And yet, He says you must cooperate with the covering. That means, stop second-guessing the warnings. Stop excusing bad energy. Stop tolerating behaviors that disturb your peace just because you don't want to seem rude. This is not the time for politeness. This is the time for spiritual clarity. Michael says he stood beside your bed while you slept, and he heard the whispered prayers you didn't even say out loud. The ones you thought but never voiced. He heard your tired sighs, your silent tears. He knows the confusion that's been trying to rise inside of you lately. The strange patterns. The unexpected delays. The emotional tug-of-war. All of it can be traced back to this person with the initial M. And even if you don't know their full name yet, heaven does. And heaven is exposing it now. This person may have access to something of yours. Your time. Your emotions. Your past. Or maybe even your future, if you let them too close. But God says there is a line being drawn now. A boundary in the spirit. What was allowed to touch you before, will not be allowed anymore. But only if you listen. Only if you obey. Only if you choose to protect your space with the same seriousness that heaven protects your soul. God says your heart is too sacred to be toyed with. Your mind too valuable to be manipulated. Your calling too rare to be misunderstood. And yet, this person has tried to create confusion. They've asked questions about you to people who don't even really know you. They've smiled at you while collecting information to use against you. But Archangel Michael says they will not win. They cannot win. Because God is exposing every false intention now. Something happened last week. You may not have noticed. A delay. A strange message. A dream. A passing comment. A repeated number. A shift in someone's tone. That was the beginning of heaven's interruption. That was the signal that something was being corrected in your path. And now, the full truth is coming forth. The person with the M is being watched, not by you, but by the angels. Michael says this is your season of liberation. But to walk freely, you must walk away from anything that keeps you bound. This person cannot come with you into your next chapter. They are not spiritually assigned to where you are going. They were part of a test. And you passed. Now the reward is coming. But you must seal this moment with wisdom. God says pray. Not just casually, but intentionally. Speak your boundaries. Say their name if you know it. Ask God to cover every door in your life, your relationships, your phone, your emails, your thoughts, your health, your home. Ask for clarity. Ask for confirmation. And watch how quickly it comes. Within hours, you may see something that confirms everything in this message. A sudden revelation. A confession. A text. An energy shift. Trust it. Michael says he is armed. Not with weapons of the world, but with divine justice. And he is surrounding you like a shield. No lie spoken against you will take root. No manipulation will grow. No jealousy will prosper. God says He is elevating you. And with elevation comes separation. This person cannot climb the mountain with you. They don't have the breath. They don't have the heart. And they don't have your permission anymore. Let this be your wake-up. Let this be your warning.